Welcome back to Just For You, and I'm Sunny Wayne Fellow. I'm so glad that you could join me today, and I just want you to continue to stick with me and continue to tune in because there's so many things that I have to discuss with you and to also tell you because this life is short. It is stated that we are on this earth for three scores and 10, which is about 70 years. Some of us have been fortunate to live more than that, but in essence, it's very short. And today I just want to talk to you about the word forgive. Forgive. I know it's a difficult word, and people tend to struggle with it because of things that they've faced with or things that they've gone through with others. But what is the definition of forgive? I know a lot of us must be able to define it in a way we think is best. Forgive, right? But according to the Merriam and Webster dictionary, it is said that it is to cease a feeling of resentment or to cease to feel resentment against someone, to pardon someone. That is forgiveness. But I want you to understand that forgiveness is the key to self-imprisonment. The key, K-E-Y, the key to self-imprisonment. Many times we self-imprison ourselves because we hate. My last video, I talked about hatred, to hate someone, the definition of it, and intense anger, intense fear. But forgiveness is the key to unlock that feeling or that intense feeling of anger, fear, and also injury, extreme injury. Forgiveness is something that we ought to think about and try to use it as a means of pardoning people, letting things go, because it is difficult. Like the story that I told about myself. There were so many times my immediate family, people that I loved or thought that they should have loved me or must love me. Maybe that was the mistake. But it didn't happen that way. And I held things against them for so many years. But I want to encourage you this morning that even my mother, my biological mother, that had me scrubbing pots and doing things that maybe was unimaginable, especially her son who had not seen her for 15 years and never saw her for many more after those 15 years when he left her. 2 days before her death, I called her on the phone because I work as a alcohol and addiction counselor in Minnesota for so many years, for about maybe 10 years before moving. I lived in Minnesota for 23 and now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here now for 2 years. But she and I talked on the phone and we cried on each other. I told her how I felt about the treatment that she meant it to me, that she gave to me, the treatment that I encountered, that I faced when I was around her. And she asked me for forgiveness. She said, Isaac, will you forgive me? But I made that call because I have come to the conclusion that I had to forgive her. I forgave her of whatever she did to me before I even made that call. And we shared tears. And she said, Isaac, my son, forgive me. And I told her, Mommy, that's why I called you. I called you to tell you that I forgive you for whatever must have transpired between you and I. I did not go to name all of those hurtful things she did and things that I did not like or things that I cried about days in and days out. No, I only told her, I forgive you. Because it is said that if you don't forgive your fellow man, God will not forgive you. So those of you that are listening today, and you harbor something in your heart against your fellow man, I ask you at this very moment to use that key, which is forgiveness, to unlock that self-imprisonment of hatred. Why hate somebody? Yes, we sometimes can be uncomfortable about things people do to us, about things people say about us, gossip. Maybe we look at racism. You are in the United States and people, you are educated, but they don't give you the job that your education actually call for. But should we hold it against them? Yeah, sometimes we get mad. We are humans. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say sometimes people do things and it's okay. No, it's not okay. But I'm so happy that there is something called forgiveness. To cease to feel resentment. We need to pardon one another. If we could only adopt this system of forgiveness, we won't be getting in trouble. Maybe there will be less people in prison today. Because we get so angry and we use other means of getting even with somebody who hurt us. We need to forgive. It is very important. We need to cease. We need to stop. We need to stop and cease resentment, hating people. We need to love. Forgiveness brings love. Forgiveness is the key, as I said, to self-imprisonment, which is hatred. Sometimes I watch the television, the news, and I see people kicking and stepping somebody who doesn't look like them on the ground, pushing them, and sometimes taking gun and going to the churches and going to their homes or going to a bar or whatever they may be. And they will shoot innocent people because of hatred. If you have that mindset today, I don't have the authority or all the technical know-how or whatever, but I want to admonish you. I want to appeal to you, brothers and sisters. If you hit your wife, if you hit your children, if your children hit you, or your children, if you hit your parents, for whatever reason that cause you guys to separate, I want you today to look at the act of forgiveness. It is very important. When I forgive my mom and she forgave me, or she asked me for forgiveness, and when I forgive her, I felt relief. I felt good again. I felt as a child again. And not only my mom, there are so many others that I lived with, and I felt I wasn't treated right. But guess what? I have forgiven them because some of them have left us, some of them are still around, and I still do what I can to help them out. In my weak ways, I do. And sometimes people ask the question, why are you doing this? This person treated you this way when you were growing up. And I tell them, forgiveness is the key to self-imprisonment. Don't you agree? I bet you will agree, because you have gone through situations, somebody have hurt you, and I know down the line you have forgiven somebody before. You have. I'm sure you have. Your wife, your kids, your boss man at work or boss lady, or whoever that you have come in contact with. I'm sure you have one day. I don't care how hard your heart is. You have forgiven somebody one way or the other. And maybe you didn't even know it, consciously or unconsciously. You didn't even know. But I've come to you today to ask you to forgive. If you have anything on mind right now, you want to hurt somebody, you want to say, I'm going to pay you back for what you did to me. I'm going to hurt you too. No one step on my toes and go free. Brothers and sisters, you are only putting yourself in a prison. The prison of hate. You will never be happy. You will be unhappy for the rest of your life if you're not careful. And as I mentioned from the beginning, life is short. Don't you want to enjoy this life that we've been opportune to get or to receive? This is not our life. We are only passing through this earth. But where do we want to go after this? Do you know? I don't know. And maybe you might not know. But if we forgive, we shall be forgiven. But if we hold things against our brothers and sisters and decide to fight them or to hurt them, to curse them, to gossip about them because they hurt us, you are only just the same as they are. You're no different. You are no different from what they did to you in the past or presently. But I encourage you today, forgive them. Cease to feel resentment. Pardon them. Give them the chance. It took so many years, over 30 years, for my mom and I to come to the place of asking me for forgiveness. And I forgive her. It was not something that I had to think about. I was in my office and I thought about it and said, I'm talking to people to forgive their wives, their kids, or for them to ask for forgiveness from their parents or their wife or kids because of drugs, because of what they did to hurt them and other people around them or their neighbors. If I can tell them about forgiveness, then what am I doing? I'm being a hypocrite because my mom did something to me and I've held it against her for so many years. If I don't forgive her or those that have hurt me, tell me, then I'm being a hypocrite. Because I'm telling somebody forgive, but then I'm holding grudge in my mind against someone else. So I had to call her. And she asked me for forgiveness. But I told her, I said, Mommy, I call you because I want to tell you that I love you and I forgive you. And I will love you to the last day I stay on this earth. But unfortunately, 2 days later on, my mom passed away. Oh, how gracious. How wonderful. Because if I had not called her 2 days earlier and she had left this earth, guilt was going to destroy me because I was never going to let it go. That I never told my mom that I forgive her for what she did to me. 2 days later, she left this earth. I talked to her on a Thursday. She passed away on a Saturday. Don't let this be your struggle. Because you don't know when that person will leave. And if you keep on holding things in your mind against them, you're going to struggle it. You're going to suffer it. You're going to feel the pain and agony because you did not have the opportunity. I know there are so many people that have such stories today. Oh, I did not. And I could not tell my parents, I forgive them. I did not give them a chance. And they left us. I want to ask you today, please subscribe to my channel just for you. You know, the reason that I use the word Sonny Wayne fella, calling myself that name, is because when I was a child or little baby, I was thrown in a stream of water called Sonny Wayne in Monrovia, Liberia, to drown. Early one morning, about maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. That's how the story was told to me. But it happened that the All Supreme saved my life through someone else. That young lady could have passed by that stream of water early that morning and saw this object and said, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know who that person is, or I don't know what it is. But she took that time to pull me out of that water. And today here I am. I have survived. I'm living my life. But I'm living my life with the key of forgiveness. When people hurt me, I forgive them. And I'm happily living my life. Because I don't have to hold anything against people. I don't. And I ask that you don't do the same. Don't do the same. Don't hold things against people. Don't hurt them. Love them. Love on them. And the guilt will find them out. It is stated that if somebody loves you, it hits you, love them is like putting a hot pan of coal on their head. It will be their guilt. It will be their struggle. It won't be yours because you have forgiven them. Love on them, brothers and sisters. I want you to share my video. I want you to like it. If possible, hit the bell. Just to let me know that you have subscribed. And I will love you for that as well. Whether you watch my videos or you share it or whatever, I'm not going to hold it against you, brother or sister. I love you, and I will always love you. You take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.